Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 375 for the 5th of March. And do take note of the standing order. You're supposed to press the like button, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and share this with all your friends, family, and contact on your social media accounts. And let's start off with statements coming from Ryba, the pro-Russian source. They analyzed that the total losses of the Ukrainian side, the total casualties is 207,000. And of these 207,000 casualties, 99,000 is considered irretrievable, which means that they are either died, they have their legs blown off, which means they are totally unable to come back to fight. So unless Ukraine have some epic healing abilities or necromancy, then this 99,000 can come back to fight. And another breaking statement, this actually not coming on the 6th, it's actually coming on the 6th. It's just came out from Prigozhin, the Wagner boss. He announced that through his Telegram channel to this journalist or something, that he wrote a letter to the commander of the SVO, basically is basically the number 2 guy of the Ministry of Defense, about the urgent need to allocate more ammunition to the Wagner group. That happened on the 6 a.m. 6:03 a.m. 8 a.m. The Wagner representative at the HQ has his pass revoked and denied access to the HQ of the Special Military Operation. But he says that they will continue to fight the Ukrainian army near Bakhmut. However, this is a deliberate statement to tell the world or to Russia or to Russians that the Special Military Operation HQ has denied Wagner any more access to the HQ as well as for the ammunition. So not sure what is going on the Russian side, but this is definitely not a good news for those Wagner supporters that is probably watching this video right now. And over at the Crimean region, there's a drone attack reported at the Avdiivka air base, which is actually this air base just north of this airport at Simferopol. And this you can see that pre-war, this air base is already prepared for war. You can see all the entrenchment and a sand pile. And there is a drone attack reported towards this airbase. The drone is shot down. However, it still caused a big explosion. And Ryba, the pro-Russian source, analyzed that this could actually be a new type of drone developed indigenously by Ukraine. Because the warhead seems to be a little bit big. There's nothing at the Kherson region. Along the Dnipro River all the way to Zaporizhia region, we have only shelling report at Volskaya, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. There is a aircraft, a Ukrainian Sukhoi 27 shot down over Trudo-Olenivka, maybe something to do with Justin Trudeau. But anyway, this aircraft was shot down over this region. As usual, this always seems to be a bit far from the front line, around 40 kilometers. Pretty consistently is always around 40 kilometers somehow. This is reportedly shot down by a Russian fighter jet. And over at this location of Novopavlivka, this is very interesting because the Russian Defense Ministry on today's report, which just came out 12 noon Russian or Ukrainian time, there's a Ukrainian Mi-8 getting shot down over Novopavlivka, but the location they bracket Donetsk People's Republic. This Novopavlivka is in Zaporizhia region, at the Dnipro region. The one at the Donetsk region is actually this one, Novopavlivka, right here. Let me draw it out for you to see. It's here, which is very unusual. I mean, this is actually pretty distant. As you can see, it's a little far from the front line. I doubt this is the correct one, so I believe that the Russian Defense Ministry is referring to this one. And this is actually pretty much where more or less 40 kilometers is the pretty much the standard distance that we do know of, that the Russian Air Force do shoot down aircraft. So this Mi-8 is shot down by the Russian Air Force as well, reported in today's report. And then we are now moving into the Donetsk Front. So at the Donetsk Front, we have another aircraft, a MiG-29, shot down over Pokrovsk. This is shot down, however, by air defense of the Russian side. And similarly, this is actually very far, also around 40 kilometers. So for air defense to shoot it down, probably S-300 or S-400, to be able to shoot so far away. And definitely this aircraft is not flying very low. It must be accidentally flew a bit too high and got shot down. Or this MiG-29 is an air-to-air aircraft, so maybe it is trying to engage the Russian Air Force, and it got shot down. At Mirnograd, there is a Mi-8 also shot down. This one is shot down by air defense as well. So both aircraft is shot down by air defense around this region. So there must be some very powerful Russian air defense system around the Pisky region or in the northwestern part of the Donetsk city. For this aircraft to be shot down by air defense. Over at the Voleda region, there is shelling reported at Voleda as well as Prishestivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry in today's report, probably referring to the things happening yesterday. And over at the Marinka region, there is fighting reported at Marinka. There's a geolocation of Ukrainian forces over here. In this location, you can see that at this location, anyway, by the way, I changed the colors of the Ukrainian so that you can see the arrow better. If not, the previous color was rather difficult to see. Anyway, at this location, which means that the front line is really still within the center road region, which is around here. Pretty bad. The Russians, after fighting for so long, they are still more or less at the same line. So good job to the Ukrainian forces. And fighting is also reported at Boyeda. And interestingly, Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source, geolocated Russian forces at this farmland or military base or something. This looks like a military base or castle. You see there's some castle looking thingy. I don't know what is this. Anyway, the Russian forces is actually geolocated in this location, which means the Russian forces have pushed back again. Previously they got pushed out of the town entirely, so now they are back. And but then they are bombarded by Ukrainian artillery. So tough life. And in the southeastern part of Boyeda, the Russians actually launched a pretty big offensive in this region. They managed to advance the line a little bit around this area here, north of Novomikhailivka. So that's all from this Marinka region. Moving on, in the Avdiivka Front. So Avdiivka Front, this Avdiivka city. This is Avdiivka city. So fighting is being reported at Nevelske, according to Deep State UA and Surya maps, with the fighting predominantly over from the east to the west towards Nevelske. There is also fighting in the southern area here, and with the Ukrainians trying to keep them away from Nevelske. There's fighting also reported at Pervomaiske, according to Mira Shenikov, a pro-Ukrainian source. Fighting is also reported at Zhivany, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Myro Shenikov also reported that there is fighting near Opitne. This is Avdiivka, so fighting towards Avdiivka from Opitne, probably in this direction. But that's all from the southern part or the southwestern part of Avdiivka. In the northern part of Avdiivka, we have fighting reported at Kayamka and Krasnohorivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So the fighting at Avdiivka continues. Moving on from Avdiivka into the Bakhmut Front. So there's nothing at New York Front. At the Bakhmut Front, fighting continues. So far, the Ukrainian withdrawal similarly is still continuing, moving out, or going this way, moving out of Bakhmut, and there is a counteroffensive reported near Ivaniske, according to Myrochenikov, the pro-Ukrainian source. Probably, they are attacking and trying to push out the Russians away from the highway. However, there is a Russian attacking Ivaniske, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And the city itself, more or less similar situations, except that in the northeastern part of Bakhmut, the Russian forces have captured the entire district of Myaso Kombinat. Basically, is this region here. The Russian forces have went from around this area. They have managed to capture the entire region here, all the way up to the river. So there's a river and a railway line around this region. The Russian forces have managed to go all the way. Maybe I should thicken the line. The line is not sexy enough. So yeah, this like this. So and in the eastern and southeastern part of Bakhmut, remember I mentioned about this area. The Russians will be trying to link up with the forces coming from the south, and this happened. So the front line, as also confirmed by Deep State UA's mapping, the front line is now like this, with the Russian forces coming from the southeast, crossing the river region north of the Damba Reservoir, met with the Russian forces coming from Opitne, and they have now linked up, and they are now pushing out in that area here. And this allowed the Russian forces to reinforce in this direction from the south without the need of crossing the rivers, the bridges that was blown up further up north. As you can see, all the bridges here, there's 4 bridges, all has been destroyed, except for this one, because this is a reservoir, and the Russian forces is now able to cross through in this area here. Fighting is also reported in the southwest of Bakhmut. We do not have much information about that. Reported by Ryba, the pro-Russian source. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry simply reported fighting at Bakhmut. They did not really mention anything about the withdrawal. And there is also fighting reported at Kromove, according to the pro-Russian source Ryba. So far, the Russian forces have not broke through this area here. It's still a push towards Kromove, with the Ukrainians continue to hold the line successfully. And there is, however, some breakthrough for the Russian side on the eastern part of Bodanivka. So the front line, there's a small bulge appearing, with the Russians making some push in this area, reported by Surya Maps, as they reported the mapping that the Russian forces managed to capture this forest region here. So getting a little bit closer to the road, that is currently not usable. Actually, the Ukrainian forces actually do come back to the road from this dirt road here to proceed towards Chasivya. So however, if the Wagner forces continue to push in this direction, they can take out this road, and making the Ukrainians to travel even more dirt roads. Further up north, there is fighting reported towards Bodanivka, according to Ryba, and there's fighting reported towards Krykorivka, according to Wogonzo. Fighting reported near Dubovo Vasilivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, as well as Orekhovo Vasilivka. Fighting is also reported at Zaliznianske. So the Russian forces currently is still pushing out in multiple directions around this area here. The Surya Maps reported the same dispute that Deep State UA has reported 2 weeks ago, that the eastern part of Dubovo Vasilivka is not captured by the Russian forces. So this also sort of echoes the Deep State UA's statement that Dubovo Vasilivka is not lost. So do note that the front line for the Ukrainians and the front line of the Russians is actually different. So moving away from the Bakhmut front, we have fighting reported in the Sivas front, with Bilohorivka continue to be attacked by the Russian forces, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Wogonzo, now we are in the Crimea front. Wogonzo reported fighting in the Serebranske forestry, with the Russian forces attacking from the Shipilivka direction in the forest. So probably just a frontal assault through the forest here. Shelling is reported within the forestry near Kozmene as well as Dibrova. Both information coming from the Russian Defense Ministry. And in today's report, in today's Russian Defense Ministry report, they reported fighting near Dibrova, and Myroshnikov reported fighting near Torske. So the Russian forces probably going out of Dibrova in this region. They haven't really broke through much of Dibrova, the Russians, and Myroshnikov say there's a fighting direction directed towards Torske. So it could be referring to the same attack, the Russian forces from Dibrova attacking towards Torske. So it could be the same attack. Moving on, there is fighting reported near Zarishne, according to Myroshnikov, which is kind of weird because Zarishne is actually here. So the Russians are attacking in this direction. And there is also fighting reported at Yampolivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, reported today. In their yesterday's report, they only reported shelling at Yampolivka. So interesting that after they shell, they now go on the offensive. Further up north, we have shelling reported at Cheverno-Popivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, as well as at Nevsky. Ukrainian Defense Ministry, however, reported differently. They say that there is fighting at Nevsky, and Deep State UA reported fighting near Ploshchanka and Makievka. So in this northern part of the Crimea front, you can see that the Russians are pushing near Ploshchanka, Makievka, Nevelsky, and Yampolivka, and towards Zarishne, and they are also shelling the Ukrainian forces in this direction, these positions. If you look at the Ukrainian Defense Ministry report, the shelling is actually across everywhere. Like everywhere is getting shelled. So which is why I don't really map the shelling reports by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, because it will just clutter the map. Just know that the entire front line is always constantly shelled by the Russian forces. So is that really nothing very special in terms of artillery shelling or airstrikes. Into the Svetove front, we only have reports of shelling at Novosibirsk. At Novosibirsk, the Russian Defense Ministry reported shelling in today's report. And the same shelling report also reported Timkovka in the Kupiansk front. And that's all. In the north of the Kupiansk front, the Russian offensive at Granikivka did not work out. So it seems like they have stopped this attack, and they proceeded to just shell the Ukrainian forces at Granikivka as well as at the location of Masyutivka. Other than that, we do not have the same shelling report in today's report. This report is from yesterday's Russian Defense Ministry report. And the Russian Defense Ministry report for today was reported in this map because by the time I wanted to record, the Russian Defense Ministry report came out. So I might as well just map it in. So that's all for the summary for the day of 375 for the 5th of March. And do press the like button, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you in the next update.